Welcome to Planetterrian Daily, episode 48. Today is April 21st, 2026. Let's get into today's research and health developments. California hybrid honeybees resist Varroa mites from the larval stage, carrying far fewer parasites without heavy chemical use. A unique mix of feral and diverse honeybee lineages in Southern California carries significantly fewer Varroa mites and rarely needs chemical treatments. The resistance begins at the larval stage, where the developing bees are far less attractive to the parasites that are devastating colonies elsewhere. According to Science Daily, these hybrids maintain dramatically lower mite loads without reliance on repeated chemical interventions. What stands out is that the protection is built in from the earliest life stage through subtle chemical or developmental cues. This natural resilience, drawn from diverse feral and managed lineages, offers a living genetic blueprint. Breeders could potentially cross these traits into commercial stocks worldwide while preserving honey production and gentle temperament. It is a clear example of local adaptation solving an agricultural crisis that has wiped out huge numbers of colonies across the United States. Beekeepers may soon look at how to intentionally select for this early life resistance in their own apiaries. While nature has already solved one long-standing agricultural crisis through local adaptation, researchers are now borrowing clever ecological tricks to tackle another household pest in a much more targeted way. Researchers at the University of California, Riverside used pinene, a natural pine compound that smells like food to termites, to draw them to wood treated with a precise dose of insecticide. This approach raised kill rates from roughly 70% to over 95%. At the same time, it avoided the need for broad-spectrum fumigation that can harm other species and the wider environment. The work demonstrates how understanding an insect's sensory ecology can lead to dramatically more precise pest control. Instead of saturating an area with toxins, the lure brings the termites directly to a low-toxicity treatment. It is a thoughtful application of chemical ecology that could reduce environmental impact while improving effectiveness for homeowners and managers. From smarter ways to protect crops and homes, let us move from the field to the lab bench, where new modeling is revealing how plants themselves can fine-tune their own efficiency under modern farming conditions. New modeling of interplant competition in maize integrates density-dependent changes in specific leaf area. The work shows that plastic responses at the leaf level lead to better canopy light capture and more even nitrogen distribution. These developmental adjustments happen naturally when plants grow close together and compete for resources. The modeling reveals that this flexibility at the individual plant level can meaningfully improve overall resource use efficiency in high-density plantings. It highlights how developmental plasticity, often overlooked in crop breeding, could be leveraged to make modern agriculture more sustainable. Farmers already plant maize at increasing densities to boost yields, so understanding these leaf-level adaptations adds a practical layer to crop improvement strategies. Staying with biological systems that quietly adapt to their environment, a very different kind of adaptation is being observed in certain human immune pathways that could change how we treat a major lung disease. AstraZeneca's IL-33 inhibitor has now succeeded in a third phase 3 trial for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. The consistent positive results increase confidence that the company has overcome previous biological challenges with this target. According to reports from Fierce Biotech, the mechanism could become a meaningful new option for patients living with this progressive and debilitating condition. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease affects millions and worsens over time, so repeatable success in late-stage trials is noteworthy. The findings reinforce that modulating specific immune signals can produce reliable clinical benefits in lung disease. While one immune pathway is showing repeatable success in the lungs, another area of medicine is being reshaped at the level of trial design itself. Biomarker-driven strategies are allowing smaller, more precise oncology trials that better match patients to therapies. This shift accelerates the move toward truly personalized cancer medicine by focusing enrollment on those most likely to benefit. In rare diseases where traditional randomized placebo-controlled trials are often impossible because of very small patient populations, researchers are pioneering alternative designs. These new approaches aim to generate reliable evidence while remaining feasible for conditions that affect few people. Both trends reflect a broader evolution in clinical research methodology that makes trials smarter and more ethical. The changes could shorten development timelines and bring effective treatments to patients who previously had limited options. These advances in how we test new therapies sit alongside growing discussion about what widespread anti-aging interventions could mean at a societal level. One analysis argues that developed nations facing low birth rates and rising education costs would gain from widespread anti-aging therapies because longer, healthier working lives increase tax revenue. The reasoning is that people who remain productive for more years could contribute more in taxes over their lifetimes. The same discussion questions why authoritarian regimes with leaders personally interested in extended lifespan have not directed massive public resources toward longevity research. Contributors on the Longevity Forum explore possible strategic, economic, and political barriers that may explain the limited national-level investment. It is a counterpoint-style look at real-world incentives and obstacles rather than pure laboratory science. The conversation raises thoughtful questions about how governments might weigh the costs and benefits of extending healthy lifespan on a population scale. While those macro questions linger, one practical reality on the ground is that many young people are still wondering whether their academic background gives them a realistic shot at a biotechnology career. A discussion on the biotechnology subreddit confirms that students with backgrounds in physics, chemistry, and mathematics are well positioned to enter biotechnology programs and careers. Contributors outline clear academic pathways from those fundamental sciences into applied roles. The field continues to offer stable opportunities even as the technologies themselves keep evolving. For students considering the transition, the reassurance is that core quantitative and laboratory skills translate effectively. It is practical career advice grounded in community experience rather than speculation. Now, here is something most people get wrong about honeybee resistance to parasites. Most assume that protection must come from strong adult immune systems or from chemicals applied by beekeepers. In reality, some populations are protected long before adulthood through subtle chemical or developmental cues that make larvae less appealing to mites. Right now, inside hives that carry this trait, thousands of larvae are quietly evading infestation because their cuticular hydrocarbons or nutritional profile differs just enough. One memorable detail is that a single Varroa mite can weaken an entire colony by reproducing on up to 30 developing bees during its lifetime. Yet these California hybrids routinely maintain mite levels below the threshold that triggers collapse. The next time you hear reports of collapsing colonies, remember that the solution may already exist in the genetics of feral survivor bees rather than in another spray bottle. A practical takeaway is to support local efforts that conserve diverse honeybee populations instead of relying solely on imported commercial stock. Watch for future studies that pinpoint the exact larval signals, because once identified, those markers could let breeders select resistant bees without years of trial and error field testing. Before we go, keep an eye on how these biomarker-driven trial designs continue to influence both oncology and rare disease research in the coming months. That covers today's science and health news. Share this with someone who's curious about the latest research. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. See you next time. This podcast is curated by Patrick, but generated using AI voice synthesis of my voice using ElevenLabs. The primary reason to do this is I unfortunately don't have the time to be consistent with generating all the content and wanted to focus on creating consistent and regular episodes for all the themes that I enjoy, and I hope others do as well.